In a small Yoruba village surrounded by lush forests and vibrant wildlife, Otomoes was born on a stormy night. From the moment she took her first breath, it was clear she was different. The village healer, her grandmother, proclaimed her a child of the earth and the spirits, yet she was also marked by fragility. Sickly since birth, Otomoe struggled with a chronic illness that left her weak and weary, often confined to her bed while other children played. Despite her sickness, Otomoe's spirit shone brightly. She spent her days studying the medicinal plants her family had used for generations, absorbing knowledge of their healing properties. The villagers admired her wisdom and kindness, often seeking her advice on ailments and remedies. She had a special affinity for snakes, particularly pythons, which she felt drawn to since childhood. Whenever a python slithered into her presence, she felt a wave of comfort wash over her, as if the creature understood her struggles. One fateful evening, during a particularly severe episode of her illness, Otomoe was desperate for relief. As she lay on her bed, shivering and in pain, she felt an overwhelming pull to the forest. Guided by an unseen force, she crawled outside, where the moonlight illuminated the path before her. There, she encountered a magnificent python coiled around an ancient tree. As she reached out to touch the python's smooth scales, a surge of energy coursed through her body. In an instant, she felt herself changing. The world around her morphed, colors brightening and sounds amplifying as she transformed into a python. Confusion washed over her, but she quickly adapted, feeling powerful and free. She slithered through the underbrush, her senses heightened, discovering the forest like never before. In her newfound form, Otomoe instinctively understood the language of the creatures around her. The forest came alive with voices, and she realized that she could communicate with the pythons, who welcomed her as one of their own. As Otomoe began to embrace her transformation, she learned to navigate the forest more confidently. Yet, she yearned to find a cure for her illness. One day, while conversing with a wise old python, she heard whispers of a rare herb known as oile, said to grow deep within the enchanted heart of the forest. It was believed that this herb could cure any ailment. Determined to find the herb, Otomoe embarked on a journey through the dense forest, transforming into a python whenever danger lurked. She faced numerous challenges, from treacherous terrain to encounters with fierce animals. Each time she transformed, she felt a sense of liberation, but she also grappled with the fear of losing her human identity forever. Along the way, she met other villagers who had ventured into the forest, each with their own stories of loss and healing. There was Ayo, a young boy searching for his missing sister, and Ireti, an elderly woman seeking solace from her grief. Otomoe shared her knowledge of herbs and offered them guidance, forging deep connections with each person she encountered. As Otomoe ventured deeper into the forest, she found herself at the entrance of a hidden grove bathed in ethereal light. It was here that she discovered the fabled oile, its vibrant leaves shimmering like emeralds. Just as she reached for the herb, a loud rustling echoed through the grove. A massive lion emerged, its golden mane glistening in the sunlight. Fear gripped Otomoe as she faced the powerful creature. In that moment, she instinctively transformed into a python. The lion paused, confusion evident in its eyes. With newfound courage, she coiled around the lion's legs, communicating her desire for peace. To her surprise, the lion stepped back, allowing her to collect the herb. With the oile safely in her grasp, Otomoe returned to her village. The villagers gathered around her, their faces filled with hope and gratitude. Yet, as she prepared to brew the herb into a potion, she felt a tug at her heart. The transformation into a python had opened her eyes to the beauty of the world and the strength within herself. But it also presented her with a choice, embrace her dual identity as both human and python, or return to her frail human form entirely. That night, she contemplated her journey under the stars. The bond she had forged with the pythons, the friendships she had built, and the lessons she had learned filled her with purpose. In that moment of clarity, she realized that her illness had shaped her life but did not define her. With the potion brewed, Otomoes shared it with the villagers, healing their ailments one by one. She became a beacon of hope, using her unique abilities to strengthen the bonds of her community. As she continued to heal others, she also learned to balance her human and python forms, using her transformations as a gift rather than a curse. In time, Otomoes became a legend in her village, celebrated not just for her healing abilities but also for her deep understanding of life and nature. The villagers would often find her in the forest, where she embraced her python form, coiled around ancient trees, or gracefully navigating the underbrush. The Python Girl. Years passed, and Otomoes' health improved, though she still experienced moments of weakness. The villagers accepted her duality, celebrating both the healer and the Python Girl. Otomoes had found her place in the world, embodying the strength of the pythons and the wisdom of her ancestors. Through her journey, she learned that true healing comes not just from herbs and potions but from love, connection, and acceptance of oneself. The villagers knew that no matter what form she took, Otomoes would always be their guardian, a bridge between the human world and the spirits of the forest. As the sun set over the village, Otomoes would often sit at the edge of the forest, listening to the whispers of the wind and the calls of the pythons, forever embracing the beauty of her unique existence. This story illustrates Otomoes' journey of self-discovery, resilience, and the deep connections she fosters with her community and nature.